teaching today is find your calling. Find your calling, huh? Yeah, find your calling. And this, we often say that as Christians, find your calling. Somebody, and this means somebody called you. When you receive a calling, somebody called you. So who is calling you? Jesus. And yeah, I mean, you are made for something, you can say. And there is a lot of questions. Is God the one who say you have to do this and this and this? I'm not sure. I don't believe that. It's not. But the calling that God has for you is we will see it more as a general calling for all the same. But there are individual callings, and I think we can contribute a lot to that. But the main thing is to find out how we can do it in God's way. And then we find out how God created us, who I am, what are my gifts that I received. I cannot become a piano player like Simon is. I'm not gifted for it. I mean, I can wish to be, but I'm not gifted for. So you have some gifts and not. And so we have to find out what God put in us. But in general, the thing is not just that God called us for doing something and you have to do it. It's a collaboration that He wants to go with us as junior partner to find out how we can bless the world. Are I out or what? What is with my computer?
No, you are zoom out.
What's happened? My computer turned on. It's just it collapsed.
Is it charging you?
Yeah, but this is what we are doing to find out and how can we collaborate with God to find out our calling that actually He gave to us because He made us in a certain way, but also what can we do with Him together to partner with Him. So my PowerPoint somehow collapsed. Everything collapsed here. I don't know what's the reason. Also, I read a book from Simon Sinek. Start with why, and
He's the best.
God is. No, that really inspired me because often we talk about the what. So what are you doing? I work in one. We have a school and we go to outings. We do a Reformation tour. We do this. That's also the work. What you do. But why do you do what you do? I mean, this is the most important question. And I think for our calling is not the question, what do you do? What do you do? So the question is, why do you do what you do? And then there's another question is about the how. So how you do it? And yeah, I can say from this morning, when you would ask Michael how he is doing it and say, love your neighbor, have good relationship. Yeah, maybe how is good, but then still the question is, why do you do that? Yeah, why? I think it's the most important thing. And when we find out the why we do what we do, then the what is just around the corner. And often we try as Christians to find out the what, but we never focus on the why. So this book, if you have time to read a book, that's really, really inspiring book. And it's very famous. So it's also, you don't have to buy the book. There is YouTube videos, a lot of YouTube videos. Do you know it? Actually, yeah. And do you think it's good? It's great. It's great, yeah. So the why is the purpose of life, why we are here. I mean, that's the main question, why God created us and what is the purpose of life. So this is the first thing that we have to find out. Then the what is have a vision. What do you have to do? I mean, that's what. And the how is then how do we do it? Have a strategy, how we reach our vision, have a plan, and live out the love of God. So this is just a bit from the book, but I think it's really important that we find out first the why and not the what. What is the purpose of life? I would say now from a biblical Christian perspective, to take care of his creation, because God, in the beginning, he created us in his image to take care of his creation. He created the world, and in the end, he created us to take care of his creation. And therefore, I say, that's the main purpose, why we are made. Take dominion, bring order, multiply, take care, protect it, the world, and build the civilization. And this is one way, or then build his kingdom in every sphere of society. It's not about me, it's about him building his kingdom. That's the reason why we are made for. It's about the restoration of his whole creation. And we heard that in our school. We are born for a higher purpose than ourselves. It's one of my staff know that I say that often to them. When you understand this, then life can start. As long as we just think about ourselves, my career, my car, my house, and then you never find out the purpose of life. It's not about you. It's about serving other people. It's about God. We are born to serve, add values to others, and see others first. And that's why we are here. And this is the purpose of life. I believe, and this is what I found out, and you can test it. If you start to add value to people, serve other people, then you are fulfilled. The whole world is telling us you need a car, you need a house, you need money, you need success, you need to stay in front, and we run all for that, and in the end we are not fulfilled. So the fulfillment of life is what Jesus said, serve other people. It's what the pastor said today. So I'm absolutely agree with him in that, but in some other things, I would not be 100% agree with him, but I think he really understood a lot of this thing. Help people to understand the purpose of life, and then one thing is also not only that you understand it, that you help people, counsel people, mentor people, and that they really understand it. So this is something that you then can write out for yourself. It's just, this is from my perspective as a Christian, but probably you have other things that you write down, and I don't say that's absolute, it's now set in stone, but you will have later then time to write it. Then the next question is, what is your mission, or the what? And this is when you find out the why, the what is just around the corner. So and really think about the what. So general one, or go to all the world, and I would add in every sphere of society to help people to understand the Creator. That would maybe have this what is the first value in value? Make God known. Yeah? Or know God and make Him known. So yeah. I would add a bit more, because know God is, but who is God? So I put Creator in it. So we want to know the Creator, not just the God, and everybody has his own God, and the Hindu God and Allah and everything. And God is too abstract for me. So therefore, I put in my words now here. I would have the same still, that's why but I make it more clear. Say the creative. And what our understanding is often in Christianity is, so go and make everybody Christians, that they believe and come to heaven. So for me, it's then adding in all spheres of society. And so this is what we do as SBCW. Go to all the world and in every sphere of society to help people to understand the Creator. That's as a slogan that I put down. Probably you find then something else for you, but I think that's from YOM or SPCW. Then personal, my calling is building up schools, communication, and mentor people to help them to understand the why, what, and how. Empowering people, add value to people. So that's why I'm born. I'm here for doing that, and this is my mission. This is why I'm standing here today, doing that for you, to help you to understand the why, what, and how. And one thing is the adding value to people. I'm think we are all born for that, but this is one of the highest value for every morning in my values calendar. It's adding value to people and think about how can I add value this today. So the family help the children to find the why, what, and how. I also put that here. So then what is my strategy, the how, or general to what Jesus said? And that's general how we do it. Add value to people, love your neighbor and your enemies. Give them who cannot give something back to you. Look for the interest of others. They are all slogans from Jesus. This is how we should do it. Everybody has a different calling, but so we should do it in a similar way. So with love, and the pastor instead of is doing that, we have to do it, and it's general, but then specific. For my thing is I teach and write books, communicate about the why, how, what, build up schools, seminars, and you need a strategy. You need now a plan how you want to bring your how you want to bring it to the people. Multiplication. I want to mentor and coach people, and so. I mean that's mine. It's not yours. You have to do it then by yourself. Then, how do you find out my calling? So now we go in this practical application. So I give you now the questions, and then you write it down by yourself. Also, how do you find my calling? So why? Also the why. First, then you have to go to that in the why, and then the next one would be the what or the what, and then the how, and the last one I add is with whom. And it's always important. You are not alone, and so but you need to find partners. And when we go then in the business model this evening, you will see we will face the same questions again. So as we will not face the why so strongly, but we will face the what and how we want to do it, and with what are the partners. So now you can then start to write it down. The first one is why. What is the purpose of life? Why I'm here, why God created me, what brings fulfillment in life. So I give you now time that you can write this out by yourself. What I did for myself, that you write it down. You need to be able to tell somebody why you are in Y1. And not what I'm doing in Y1. The first thing is why I'm in Y1. This is the most important thing. So say, I'm here building the kingdom of God. I don't know how you want to express that, but find first out your why. Shape.
The last question, what brings fulfillment in life? Is that what brings me fulfillment in life, or just in general?
Yeah, that's you do. Yes, you have to think what brings fulfillment in my life. What do you think? We have to be honest. We not do. Now you summarize what I say. It's really that is what you communicate, what you think, what you believe, what is the why.
Okay, I just the first two said why am I or why is me.
Yeah.
It didn't specify. So
That's good. Please ask a question. So is it good? I give you 5 minutes time. Write it down, or do you need more? I give you 10.
Okay.
I give you 10. I mean, it's a beginning. It's not that you write your whole plan today.
Oh, okay.
But it's a beginning to learn and write down about the why, and then you can then present, if you want, it to us. What do you think? What is the why? Who you would communicate to somebody? Why are you in WOW? Why are you doing what you're doing? And so on. Is it okay? Yes.
So
Please, Katrina.
is why am I here? Does that mean why am I in Y1 doing what I'm doing? Or why am I here? Why am I on this earth?
Yeah, it should be connected.
Yes, yes.
So I mean, you do it because why you are on this earth, and when you not do what will bring the connection with the why you are on this earth, then I think you do the wrong thing.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, okay.
Okay, then. I think you can stop the recording. You can now share about it. When I would ask, why are you doing what you're doing? So what would you say? What do you think now, what you learned out of the biblical Christian perspective? So what would you say? What is your why?
I'm here because I obey God. He told me to be here. He created me in order that I fulfill His purposes through me in my lifetime on earth here. Because He loves me. IOM has been a great agency for me to live out the things that God's called me to as well. And I have plans to be engaged with YWAM in the future. And then for things that...
What was the last one? Can you say it again?
I have plans to be engaged with YWAM more in the future as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be some of the why, and I have a fulfillment list as well.
Mm-hmm.
But should I read that too?
No, it's the why. Just the why. Or what do you mean with the fulfillment?
No, I mean the why am I here? Why God created me? And things.
So I would say to be with YWAM together is not necessarily the why, or it's
No.
It's more the what or how.
Yeah, like I'm here in this room because God loves me. He told me to be here, and He's created me in order to fulfill His purposes for the world in me. And I believe YWAM is a great agency in order to see those things carried out.
Yes, thank you. Somebody else want to share?
Oh, go ahead.
You can go.
So you can come in front. Please come in front. And the people can see you.
Yeah, still they can see.
Yeah, actually. Okay. Now I think I am here because I have a heart for mission, and how does that look like? It involves a higher purpose than myself. It also involves training and helping others and bringing dignity to their life. And this place is good for me because I also feel that I still need a growth in many areas, and this community helped me to grow by myself and also share with others what I have learned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. That's good. And so why do you do your project in India?
Because I believe that people, they deserve a better life, and that's not their fault to just live like how they're living. Maybe they're also victim of circumstances. And I also see that helping them is also part of my responsibility. Why God chose me.
Yes. You were really good in your presentation to put it to the why, why you do what you do and not, so what do you do? So I think the why is the most important thing, and we need the others too, but the why, it has to start. Thank you.
I'm fan of Simon. No, I think a lot because of
No, but we have to, cannot say it's wrong, good or wrong,
yeah.
but we have to think about why, and it has to make really sense. But we will learn more about that.
Shame.
Shane, please.
I answered the question. To me, it just came down to relationship, which is funny because we were talking. But like answering more maybe the question, why did God create me? But I think it's also part of like it as an extension of it. It's why I'm here, but also why I'm here on this earth. But for relationship, and I think like the thought that I kind of fleshed out a little bit was that if his ultimate goal for us is to have a relationship with him, that is the Bible, everything, Jesus is all about that. At the core, I think. Obviously, there's a lot of things that tie into that. But if that's his goal for us and him, then automatically our goal becomes, regardless of the fact that, I mean, he tells us to do it, but like, I think automatically our goal becomes to bring people who don't know him into that relationship. Because, yeah, it's incredible. Like, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things, but I don't know if that answers the question necessarily.
No, it's a good question. I would be probably not 100% agree with you. But that's just it's not saying you are wrong or something.
Yeah.
But so for my understanding is God, meaning when we are created, God created us to take care of His creation, and so the relationship is more the what, the how we should do it. We should do it in relationship. We should do it with Him together, and this expresses as well how we do it with other people together. So, but it's not, for me, could not really answering why I'm here, because I think God Himself is not dependent on our relationship. He don't need us, or He's God in Himself, like Ellis said, is Trinity, and God. It's a condition that we are in this relationship, and it's for me more than how we do things. We always, what we do, we should think about doing it in partnership with Him, doing it in a good relation with other people, and do it in a team and not alone, and all of these things. But this is then for me more the how. Yeah. I would, yes, I'm Catherine.
Yeah, I would say that I'm here to do God's will. That comes from a deep place of relationship with God. Because when I was sick for 4 years, the last 2 years I was basically just in bed, very unwell, and the last so a year/18 months. Over that time, the dream world at night was more real to me than during the day, because during the day I wasn't able to do anything, but in my dreams I would run, I would be with friends and things like that. So I asked God almost every day for a year or 18 months, Lord, I've had enough now. You can take me home and you can have me. I don't want to be here on earth anymore. And I felt the Lord say to me that the reason that I'm here on earth is because He has a purpose for me, and that I get to fulfill His purpose for my life together with Him. So it was a long process, but it came to quite a deep conviction for me that the only reason that I'm here on earth is to do God's will. And that's literally the only reason, is because He has a plan for my life. So once I understood that, I felt the Lord start saying to me, to come and started saying to me, come and dream with me, and let's dream together of how we do this. So,
Good. So, do you want to respond to what I said?
I guess that, I mean, maybe I don't fully grasp it. It feels a little bit like chicken and egg situation, and they're deeply intertwined. Even with like what she was just saying, I think it also like, which comes first, I don't think that, like, I agree with both. Yeah, so I think it's kind of all of them.
I think it's also, I mean, when you read the book of Simon Sinek, so not all have the same why.
Yeah.
But of course, you have to know why you have this why. what's for
Yeah.
you. That's one of the most important things. And this is attractive to other people because when they see why you do what you do, and this I think I would when I react to what Catherine say. I mean, when people say I want to, what you say, just follow God or do His will, so then I would ask you, what is His will? So I think we are Christians are sometimes so theoretical. We sing the songs, we want to do your will, just you. But I think the question is then, what does it mean practically? And I think we have to give them, it's not wrong to say, I just want to do God's will, but the question would be, what does it mean practically, and how you can live it out. But it's important, we discuss about it. It's not that I say you.
No, yeah.
Let's say it's a discussion, we try to find out why.
Also, I wasn't saying that as an answer to anything. I actually didn't realize you guys hadn't finished your conversation. So
No, it's okay.
Yeah, I think it's hard. Like, I think you have a point that we are often like, it's a little bit like more critical, but I think also like with the will thing, it can be like a million different things. And so to be able to be like, why? You can't, list like like a whole bunch of reasons, maybe. And so then I suppose maybe it's just partially a thing. Like it's easier to tell people I'm doing this because I want to follow the Lord and what He says, instead of always being specific. I don't know if it's not a fully formed thought, but it's interesting to think about.
Yes.
No, I mean it is so important question what you are saying. It's just not the easy one. Because I can understand, because when you said, and I also have to write down like why am I here? Like it's really a question, but it is what really considering, like thinking why, and breaking down to the word that I could tell to others, because I want to say, oh, I have heart for God. Okay, how does that look like? So to really coming and learn to think in a way that I know for myself and also able to communicate. I think it's just not very easy.
It's not easy. It's also a process of growing, and we cannot write it down and then this is it. Apple is a good example.
Yeah.
Apple about and it's Simon Sinek. It's when he's talking a lot about Apple. So Apple, when they do advertising, so how do they do that? Do they talk about the what? No, they talk about the why here. What is the why? Why Apple?
Why did they start there?
No, why when they are doing advertising?
Oh, yeah.
Why? What is the why in their advertising? Yeah. What did you say, Shane?
I don't have an Apple phone, so I'm not sure.
I think they say that, I mean, it's so many different things, but they start with, he compares, Simon Sinek, both in one, he says that it's a software company or something, we just happen to make a great computer and you want to buy one or something. I don't know how to say, but he starts with why. And it's
no, I mean, he also said it's a justified cause. And to make a great computer would be not justified.
Yeah.
But Apple is, you want to belong to the family.
Yeah.
That's the message. Hey, you are belonging to the family when you have an Apple. You belong to this society, to this crazy, great society. And when you go to Starbucks, open your laptop and everybody see the Apple, then you belong to it. And everybody who has not an Apple is not belonging to it. That's the message that they do. And this create, so why do you buy an Apple? Because you want to belong to it. And you should not questions about the items or so. They never say something about that. In their advertising, it's just, well, sometimes they say it's very teeny or it's a fancy outlook and so, but actually it's not about the phone, it's about they sell the mobile phone because people want to belong to the family, and that's the why. And so I think we have to find it out in our mission that we do, in what we are doing, to find out the why. We did a workshop with Peter Hüsser was coming this evening, but we do another workshop. But he did a workshop with us, and we had to sell our school. And he was the one who was listening. And I stood up, I prepared very good, stood up, and then I did everything wrong. And he said, this is all the what, but why do you do what you do? You told me that you did this and this and this and this, but why do you do what you do? So, and I miss that in all the great fancy things that we do, and presented that, and the people will come because of the why, and not necessarily because of all the fancy things. And when they are coming because all of the fancy things, then you don't want them to be in the school, because the school is not about that. So, but I think the why is really important. So somebody else want to share something? I mean, the people who are watching, and Lonceso as well, I mean, you can then debate with your team about that and let them find out and discuss about the why. But I think it's a journey of changing our direction, because we are so focused on what, and now we have to come to think, so why do we do what we do, and what is the purpose of life? And so, and this needs time to change. But when you find out this, it's just, I put this in first. When you find out this, then your calling is just around the corner. And so, not so be scared about finding out the calling. You will receive it. It's not so far away. But when you understand the purpose of life, then you will automatically quickly find your calling. And when you look for the calling or for what you want to do, the what, then it can be very frustrating. So this is the first step you do. The second one would then be what. It's now I have to change back to the PowerPoint. Okay, the second one is now my calling. So you have now also time think about your calling, the specific one. And so it's also I heard that in the teaching. So there are three fields. First one is your passion. You have a passion, and somebody have a passion for playing piano, and another have passion for helping people in India, bringing water to them. So not everybody has the same passion. That's not right and wrong. We are just different. People like that and all like that. So one thing is the passion. The second thing is the skills and gifts. So first, gifts are the things that a gift is something I give you. So let's say the creator gave it to you. So you are naturally gifted for playing piano. But you can also have a skill, and skill is when you would say, I want to become a good piano player. So you train really hard to become a good piano player. But I think when you not have really gifts, then you will not bring it so far. So it has naturally be in you that you are gifted for music and so on. But then skills are things that you learn. So when I mean in this field is think about what is really what you can do and what did you learn, what you are really profiting, what you have in your pocket. So and then the third one would be needs. And your gifts and your passion actually will not really help the world if there are not needs in the world that you can fulfill them. That means helping people. So, and this is often we focus on what can I do, what is my gift, and so, or what is my passion. But actually, we have also to focus on what can we help the others, what are the needs in the world. And we have to see all three together, and there where this overlapping is, would then be your calling. So now you would have time to write down. So think about what is your gifts. So think about the next thing is what are your passion, and then we will take a long time for then find out what are the needs in the world. So, or actually better is we start with needs in the world, because this is often not our first focus. So write down what do you think are the needs in your society, in your environment. What do people need? Without thinking, can I do that, or do I have the finances for something or so? Just think about what are the biggest needs in your society that you are in, that you know, and write them down, and then we will present that. So think about that, okay? And I mean, there is a lot to think, and we do research, and so I know that. But it's just we learn how to do it. So it's not a final thing, but this is also then what's coming to your final project, and this is very important. Yeah. So what are the needs in your society? Okay. I give you again 10 minutes or until quarter after. Yeah, and then we present it, and then we will do the break. Is it okay? Yeah. Okay. Good. Really important.
Yes.
And as more we grow, we see time. It's not about myself. It's about adding value to people. It's really what Jesus said constantly in the teaching, that we really understand that more and more. So about the why. So now we talked about why. We leave that a bit more and come to the what. And the what is with these 3 circles that I present to you. First one we did about the needs. I think really that we have to find out the needs first before we look for our calling. So because we are called to face the needs and help and to change the needs, and so therefore the needs are really, really important. And this is for a business the same. When a business has a good idea, make a good product, but nobody's buying it, then there is no success for a business. So the business will collapse because nobody's selling the product. And therefore, we are not so far away with the mission organization from a business. I mean, a business is of course, oriented to make profit. We are a non-profit organization. But the structure to have the why first, and to find all of that, what are the needs for the people, and then work on that, is the same. Therefore, we also invited then somebody from business for doing with us the Canvas model. And we sent it to Nigeria and to you, Lonchezo. You already have it, and you know how to do it. Then you do it by yourself. So let's go now to the next question that we face. As we had the needs, or this is something. So the next question that we face is the skills. So just think about the skills and gifts. Think about what do you have, what can you do, without thinking of needs. Just what are you skilled for and what are your gifts. So I give you as well some minutes. So let's say you can have 10 minutes for that to think about this. And I mean, there is also you cannot write probably everything down here now in 10 minutes, but just to start to think, what are your gifts? Okay, I give you 10 minutes for looking for that. mean, have this in mind. It's for everybody, it's different. So let's say we cannot necessarily be inspired probably because of others. So it's good to hear, but we have to find it out by ourselves. So the next one I have, it's then the passion. So probably let's say you are somebody who did apprenticeship, or you have a degree in accounting. You're really gifted, you are professional but it's not your passion. I mean, actually, I know a lot of people, they do things, they are actually really good in it, but it's not really their passion. And I think when you do, over a long time, you do something, but don't really have a passion for it, then it's really hard. It's really hard. So, and not all, I mean, when somebody, let's say a Christian, is put into prison, you say, what's your calling, what's your passion? And it's a bit hard to answer this, but when let's say when we have the freedom here really and choose our project, choose what we want to do or so, and we have to think about our passion, and we have to not neglect or put it down and say, when you this really stirring out in you, it's something God put in your heart, something that you like. And it's not egoism in the sense, something that really is inside of you. So you have to find out this. And when you now have these three, so passion, when somebody has no energy and no motivation, then he have actually no passion. That's also from Simon Sinek sentence. Or what fires you up? The question, what fires you up? Think about that. I mean, we can have this discussion and so, and you are not really interested, then we ask a question and then you're here, it's your interest. So think about what fires you up. What does your heart burn for? And so we say, I mean, I have a heart for women, for this persecution, or this human trafficking, and I really want to change that, and that's the thing. And for me, it's always, I get very passionate when I hear that, I mean, to see that our society is losing the values of God. And see that in history, so that we are losing it, and that people are no more interested in that. So this is something that I'm here. So when you probably explain me about clothes and flowers and so on, yeah, okay. Actually, really, honestly, I have no interest in it. But then you talk about how we lose our values in society, then you, dear listener, I'm really interested in it. I want to research more about that. So, what is in your heart? What makes you angry? You can also, sometimes, if you don't know what's your passion, you can ask, what makes me angry? Or and often it's in a debate, stir up. So find out why you became angry, and this is something that's deep inside of your heart. Some people, they see injustice and it makes them angry. Or, yeah, okay, you have to accept that. But other people really, they get angry, and you have to find out that and ask also the question, or what do you want to do? Some don't. That's also, now this is from John Maxwell. Some don't know what they want to do, have no passion and no energy. Some, they know never what they like to do. Oh yeah, they have three categories. Some, they have, they don't know what to do, have no passion and energy. Some people are like that, and some people they do never what they like to do, or they know what they want to do, but they never do it. And I know people like this. And then some do what they like to do. And so we all want to belong to the people who do what they want to do, not in an egoistic way. I mean, the question is always want to do, and what is really good is often not the same. Well, let's say we look to Coca-Cola, do advertising, and then we want the Coca-Cola because we think we feel good, but actually it's not good. And so there is often this conflict of what do you want to do, but so really you will have success and you will impact people when you follow, when you do what you are called for, what it's the passion in you. So now you have also time to write this down, but I think we do it not now, we can do it also later. But the thing is then when these three circles are coming together, and you can think now about that, is there something that would fit here in the middle? That would fit in the middle. So where these needs that you see in the world, where these skills that you have, gifts that you have, skills could be also things that you say, I have to learn that. I'm not skilled yet, but I want to learn that. So it's also can fit in this category. And then when there is really your passion, what you want to do, what really fire you up. So I don't know if somebody would say, I have something that would fit in the middle. So is that something that you say, wow, I think this would fit?
I mean, I see the potential in, like, even what Catherine and I were talking about yesterday, and those kind of things. I mean, I want to be working in that that center area for sure. And so I think I don't want just what things I'm excited about and my skills to go kind of nowhere. You know, I want them to actually have a cause to them. And so, I definitely see that, you know, starting something to take care of people, to train people, to equip people is kind of big on my heart, the people in need. So I think at least in theory, the kind of thing that Catherine and I talked about yesterday would be that middle. I like to think anyway.
Yes, good. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I've always been very, very, very passionate about people who have been sex trafficked, or people who are stuck in the porn industry or in a prison, things like that. And helping them to heal, therapy, that sort of thing, as well as training them and sending them back out into society and things like that. So there's a lot on my heart, and a lot of it surrounds justice. But it's also difficult because you can't do 20,000 things in one lifetime.
You cannot.
That's the hard thing.
That's the hard thing, and therefore we will go on now. But I think make it really specific.
Yeah.
And probably it's not but you will hear from this and this will come. And he always say that, and it's really impacting for me. Yeah, he said they want to build a school, build up a school in their village where he's from. So they went and started to build a school, but they actually want to have a hospital and a clinic, because this is really the need for this, not the school. So they want to make a school, say that's the most important thing. And it ended up in a clinic. The school became a clinic, and it's now a clinic for 40,000 people.
Wow.
It's the only clinic in this area.
Fantastic.
And I mean, and now they have a school built. You will see they have many things, but sometimes you have to start with something, and it has to be very specific, because otherwise you never will start. Even you are not sure is this really the main thing.
Yeah.
But somewhere you have to start and think, how can I now apply what I believe? And therefore you start with, I don't know. And when you can say working with human trafficking. So I mean there are organizations, and the best would be join an organization once, look, do an outreach there, and something, start with something, and probably you see, that's not my thing. Not do that. So this is always, it's always a sort of journey to go. but it's good. Yeah. But learn to make it specific. So we will talk more about that.
I like this. It's very simple, but like good. I like this little.
Yeah.
It's nice. Good to think about.
Really good.
Yes, Sima.
For this, I'm just thinking, for me, as I really like this school, something could be very simple and start SPCW kind of in the middle, because what I really like in this school that it doesn't separate God and society. So it also could be really to sharpen your skills, and as we have this business visit or talking about society and all this, there's to really get aware what is the need as we're meeting. Yeah, and then find somewhere where we could really practice what we are learning.
So you would say the middle is the SPCW?
I mean, for me, and this season, I would say, yeah, I mean, it could be God or it could be different. We don't have to agree with one another. It could be different center for different person.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
me,
of course it
yeah.
is. It is always a difference.
I mean, easy answer and safe would be to say God.
Yeah.
But how does that look?
Yeah, then I would be asked back.
Yeah. Yes.
So God is Allah is also God. It's which God? The God of the Krishna or the God of the Jehovah's Witnesses or.
And also, I really like when you said about the need and giving example from decent. Yeah, sometimes I think that is the need, but it's worth considering, is this the real need that people need for this, or it just needs the
Probably we will also visit here the Südkurve. They also, I was in the beginning, and so the vision, and so they started, and it ended in taking care for unemployment people, and not what they really wanted, but then they build as well a church, and they build these things, and many it come together, but sometimes it's something different in the beginning. It's really something that fit the needs of the people. So yeah, that's really good. Somebody else want to share something?
Question,
yes,
but
please.
I don't want it to be interrupting.
No.
I'm just interested if there is someone that you're mentoring or helping on the journey and things, and they've been through a lot of traumatic experiences, and actually they don't see themselves as having any gifts or skills. Yeah, I'm kind of wrestling with that, if you know my thought of, sometimes people have been through so much trauma and people have spoken so many lies over their life that it is sometimes such a journey of healing before they realize that they have anything good to contribute to anyone. So it would be much easier for them to do the bad things that they're used to doing, that family has done, their abusers have done to them. And so, yeah, just kind of, it's not formed.
So if you talk about helping these people to get the vision, I think when people are traumatized, so it's not the time to find a vision for them. I don't think. They need love, they need acceptance, they need help, they need to be mostly people who are mentally challenged. They not should think about that too much. They need a safe place, security, clearness, and love, and people who helping them. And this is exactly a business that we will visit on Wednesday. They do that, and you will hear more about that. But you have to build them up. And what they do here in the business, they make really easy jobs where they can learn to believe in themselves again. So they do easy things, but they have to learn to do that and to do the easy thing, and they can trust themselves first, and with building up little steps, little things. What we will see, and he will tell it again. You can observe it and ask, and then you can build up. But this is more for, let's say, leaders, or really when we want to start a project and so on. Yeah, I hope it helps.
No, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, let's go on. in his book, Simon Sinek, he said a just cause. I mean, we always have to think, is this justified, what we are doing? It's our vision, our passion, and that's what we think the people need. Is this really justified? And he gave an example. Actually, it's not from the book Why, it's from the book Eternity, Eternal Games. That's the name of the book. But he gave an example, said, the rail company in America, they had a great vision. So they want to help people to move. And therefore, they built rails and help people move. And then became very big and became very rich. But in 1900, there came the cars came, and the cars were much easier, individual, and so they were like a competition between the cars and the company, the rail company. So the rail company in the US collapsed, and you still see it today. I mean, compare that to the railways that we have here in Europe, or especially in Switzerland. I mean, Switzerland is absolutely first class, not one when it's come to rain, but also to the costs. That's the other thing. But actually, they collapsed. So Simon Sinek asked this question, then say, why do they collapse? And he say, because they lost the just cause. It's not. Can you put it? But why is it not? Yeah, the just cause. What is the just cause? And he say they lose it as a company, because the just cause was to help people come from A to B. I mean, they is a service to people. But as the cars came, and it was like a competition to them, they want to win against the cars. And so was the cause was not much justified. They fighting for winning. They fighting for make money. They want to become a bigger company than the car company, and so on. But the real cause was bringing people from A to B. This is the service. And he mentioned a lot of companies like Facebook, or like Facebook in the beginning, it was the idea to help people to connect. But now it became a business or money, and everything changed. And a lot of companies, he said, they had a justified cause in the beginning, but they lost it. So the justified cause is always something to serve people. So what does it help people? It's not to make money. He said that's not a justified cause. Growing is not a justified cause. Making money is not a justified cause. Or becoming big is not a justified cause. Or say, I want to have my company in every country in the world. That's not a justified company. And it's not a why. So the justified cause is we want to serve people. We want to help people. And we want to help people that they can be empowered, can grow, can become independent, can, let's say, in mental challenge people. So in the company that we go, in the beginning, they say disabled, mental disabled people. And you're no more allowed to say that. They say, mentally challenged people because they are not disabled. So they just in the moment challenged. So but in this case, that you help the people that they come out of that and can become independent, trust in themselves again. And so that's a justified cause. But a lot of causes that we have are not justified. And therefore, he said in his book, it will not last. So therefore, we always have to think in the end, before we start a project, find out, is it really, that's like a test, is it really a justified cause, what we want to do? Good. Then sustainability is another thing that we have to think about, and I think that a lot of Christians were not aware of that. The Israelites, they jumped through the desert 40 years. And the manna fall from heaven. The food came from heaven. There was a rock and brought them water. And I mean, there was Moses who say go left or right. And actually there was a cloud or who showed them the way. So they were fully dependent on that. And they had this for a whole generation. Everybody died all over 20 years died in the desert. So actually they thought it's normal. God is providing like that. We are just here to follow, to have food every day. But actually we are not. This is not sustainable. God didn't create the world that the manna is falling down from heaven. He created the world, put us as his junior partner in, and say, take care of the world, produce your own food. And so that as they jumped over the Jordan, this miracle was over. For them, it was not a miracle because the whole generation thought it's like this. But it was over, and then they had to look for themselves. They have to think about this sustainability. So I plan something that I have food. So I have to look that I have food in the winter. So I have to store my food when winter, I don't know in Israel, winter. I don't know the circumstances right there, but here in Switzerland, we know exactly what I mean. In winter, half of the year is snow in a lot of places in Switzerland, and nothing is growing there, or it's cold. So you have to earn in the summer, store it, and then have it in the winter. And so you have to think the sustainability. Some historians say that the problem in Africa is sustainability, because they living from hand to mouth, say. But they never really thought about sustainability. So we as a Swiss, we are forced to think about, because we have no food half a year. So we have to think, but actually God wants that we think like this. So when we build a project, we have to think about where is the money coming from? And how can this project come that they can take care of themselves? We don't give them fish, we will help them to fish. When we just give them fish, then after some years there will be more mouths that you have to feed and you need more fish. But this is not sustainability. And often the projects in Africa was built like this, not just from the Christians, but from the UN, from all the secular world. So they put a lot of money in, but in the end, when they go, everything collapses. Because there is no sustainability. So we really have to learn, and this is really good in that, and he's doing it. He's not just talking about it. He's really doing it to help people that the project, that the school that they do is now no more dependent on the West. That the income that the people pay can pay the teachers and pay the school, so it's no more dependent on the West. But this is the long-term goal, because independence is God's goal for us, not to be dependent. Therefore, he died on the cross to make us independent. This is always the way to become independent, no more dependent on the sin. Become independent, become free. And as long as you are dependent on others, you are always under them. And you cannot grow really. And this is what our help for mainly Africa, but also probably India also. But we did that. We invested billions and billions of dollars. And a lot of people say there was no profit out of it. I mean, what it brought is corruption. That some people have, the others not. But it's not really a sustainability. So we have to think in all our projects about this sustainability. It has to go on. And one thing, what I believe is Christianity can really teach that. Because we working for eternity. And just, do you know this picture? So, do you know it?
So it's one in Spain?
In Spain, Sagrada Familia in Spain. It's a huge church. It's really amazing. I was 3 times there, and it's really, I was so impacted about this church. You probably see, do you see these 8-story buildings there behind it? Can you imagine how big it is? It's really huge, but it's not finished. You know, it's not finished. This is the current situation. Also, I did the picture 10 years ago, therefore different. But the design actually is like this. You can say it's almost the double. Not the double, but probably 40% more or so. And then the architect is Antonio Gaudi. Probably heard about him. He died last century, and actually a tram killed him. A tram, a train, tram. And so, but he had a vision. He said, well, I want to build a church for God, and a big church for God. It should be as simple. And then all the donors left him, and he worked for more than 10 years alone in this church. Can you imagine that? That you work alone on this? What is the sense? What is the purpose? Can you change something alone on this church? It's amazing. It's really amazing. He's doing some with this hammer. What we really can do. But you know, I do it for eternity. And he said, I will do it. And everybody left him. Last 10 years he was alone. And then a tram killed him. And people didn't know that it was him. They found out later. But it was so impacting. So he had a long-term view that he can build a church for eternity. And then he said, if I don't see it now, I will see it after the resurrection. And therefore, it is not insane what I do. It has a purpose. And now they took this vision from him, and I think in 1980 they started now to want to finish the church. And so they took his plan for the church and want to finish it. And I think it's amazing how to receive this long-term view. And I think for our project, we need to have a long-term view. You will not just say, okay, we do an event for this. Well, we are sometimes, Christians are sort of event shoppers. Or, but what is the purpose of doing this event? What does it help the people?
Yes.
And so we have to think long-term, and somebody has to pay for it. So how is the income coming to it? We have to think about that. And not think like the Israelites in the desert. No, God didn't create the world like this. And I heard Landa Cope. Do you know Landa Cope? So she had a vision in the year 2000, and Wawa was 40 years old, and she had a vision and said, okay, this was 40 years desert wonder. And the Wawams came and they received everything from God, and they prayed, and God gave them everything. But God didn't create Wawan for that. So now we have to become independent and look for ourselves. Like the Israelites. So God said to Joshua, hey Joshua, have fun with this million of people. The first sentence is Moses is dead, or there is no more leader, or like strong leader like before. Now you have to look for yourself and go to the people and tell them there is no more provision from heaven. Now you have to look for yourself. There is no more provision from the state. There is no more health care. Now you take care of yourself. So I think that these people were not so happy about it. And it was fun for Joshua, but it was hard. This was actually very hard. But this is the idea, long term. And Landecope say we have to learn as well to learn to become long term, and not just going everywhere, doing everything. But how does it goes on? And when we want to bring sustainability, let's say build up a school, then we have to think how this school can be financed. And when this school only can be financed, that we select money come from the West in the school, then this is not really sustainable. We have to help that the society can run by itself. This is God's idea. God wants that we're not dependent on others, that we are the one who can give, He can bless us. So these are some ideas, when you think about the project, that you think about that. So coming now more practically, now this is so we have now a framework, but we have to think about the opportunities. So where there are opportunities, what can I do? Where are open doors and so, and then what are the opportunities? And so the best thing, you can write this down now. So the opportunity, and then take the three. I mean, there are a lot of opportunities, but take the three top one, the big one that you think, and then is it justified cause? Yeah, think about that. Now, reality check. Are they realistic and doable? I mean, think about this. Is this really? I mean, think. You're right. I think I should go to the moon and build houses there because we are so overpopulated in England. Okay, probably in 100 years or so. I don't know how realistic such thing is. So things who are not really realistic, you should not think about that. So think really first. It's so think first. You have to do what you have to do. If you not do what you have to do, then don't think about that. The second thing, you have to do what you can do. And this is the thing, first start with what can you do? Not what is possible, so what can you do? And when you did the first and the second, then you can think about what are the things that are the impossible things to do. But when you not go the first two steps, then it's really hard, I tell you. And I think a lot of visions ended somewhere or nowhere, but we have to go step by step. So the best thing is really to think first about, is it really matchable? Can I do it? Or with my skills and everything like that. Now, preparation check. Am I prepared for it? That's a question, or I mean, probably you have to do school, or when this is really your vision, then you say, do school, or really. So when you're not prepared for it, then it's hard to say I do something that others will do, and I just have the vision. No. Or the opportunity check, would there be all the better options? That check them all. So I mean, you think about okay, I want to do that, but probably you can do it cheaper or you can do it better, and probably think about other opportunities to do it. Deadline check, would it be the right time? And how long does it take? So this is also think, can I start now with it, or is it something that I cannot do at the moment and it is for later, or so? Could think about this question. I give you again 10 minutes time to think about this opportunities question. Is it okay? Yes, please. Do you have a question?
Can I ask a clarification question? So is this based on what our vision was that we were talking about yesterday, in terms of if it's realistic, we're kind of analyzing if it's realistic, or is this saying that? Yeah, I'm not quite understanding.
No, it's also, everything is connected. We just go in a way to find out our calling and be able to bring a vision into praxis. And we learn the tool, and this is a learning process. Okay. It's really to think about and it should help you when you then start a project that you all ask this question.
Okay.
So, but you can now just do it probably for this, but you had yesterday or something. That is okay. So I give you 10 minutes time, huh? Okay, let's. Somebody wants to share something? So does somebody see an opportunity right now or see something? Yeah, let's. Somebody wants to share something?
I couldn't really think of anything, to be honest.
No, it's okay. It's good. Just
I
to,
can share something.
yeah, please, Sima.
I mean, I have some friends in Nepal actually, and I always think that what I'm learning here or the different view that this school give me, I have opportunity to share with them because I come from a background or especially a church who focus going to heaven. For me, this is an opportunity to tell them that it's also things can also be done here. We don't need to really wait until we get into heaven. I don't know, like what I am learning here, I have opportunity to share with my friends who already believe in Christ.
Yeah, that's very, very good. So I think that we should not think about too big. We should think about what we can do. When we not start in the little and do what we can do, then we not should think about what is impossible. So really, that's a good step. So think in the little thing what I can do. Let's say I can share it. And what you did last week, I heard that you did the surgery or had some questions and went around the debate.
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, what can you do for making what are you doing visible or let other people know about it? And I think so little steps. So I think the biggest challenge for us is we want to make big steps. But we have to do it really step by step. Yeah, but this is a really good thought. Yeah. Others idea.
I was even thinking about visiting places of inspiration, other people or other organizations who've done similar things, or people with a similar heart, just meeting with them and discussing these things. So for example, one person who has really inspired me on the similar track that Graham and I have been dreaming about is Teo Hayashi. He leads the Dunamis farms in Brazil that are kind of sister organization to Y1. And he has a very similar story of trusting God for land and having vision for training center and many, many different things to that. So, so I wanted to visit there for some years. So I think. And then also, George Mueller, the orphanages.
I know he died already.
Yes.
From history. around 1700.
They have their museums in Bristol, my city.
Wow.
So I go to the buildings that were the orphanages and just remind myself of the story and inspiration from other people.
Now he is a good example. This book, or when was he a pastor?
He was a pastor for some years.
But he was a pastor, and his question was always, why I'm a pastor, what do I do? Or he was not satisfied, and really through a journey or so, he found out really helping people, and it was his passion and his thing, and he built up amazing things. That's great to listen to his story. Yeah, don't look for too much. Start, and I think we all have opportunities. We all have somewhere, but often we don't see it. It's next door. So let's say I can think about how can I help somebody to find the why, how, what. But I can constantly look and forget that I have at home children who's sitting with me anyway on the table. Why I'm not taking this opportunity? And I think often a lot of pastors, they do, or Christians do a lot of things and forget their family. But so there is an opportunity to share. There's an opportunity, but you have to see it, and you have to look to the little things, and not want to be the big. And for me, it's always first do what you have to do. Be trustworthy in that. Then, second one, you do what you can do. Look for this opportunity around, and then we can talk about impossible things. Yeah, good. Yeah, we come to the last one here. Where I am. The last one is to find out partners. I mean, we will talk more about that, but just that you hear it, you cannot do it alone. So we need to find partners, and probably say find an organization, joining them, from them. Yeah, we don't have to invent the wheel again. Let's say like this. Yeah, find partners, find people who can help. Don't try to do it alone. And this required a team. It required to be able to work in a team, to go together. And often people, and especially I know that from Africa, that people like to walk alone and don't, are so open to share their vision and their dreams. They probably share their bed with you, but not their vision. But we have to share their vision and have to partner with one another and not be afraid that somebody takes your role or take your position. And we are often afraid working with other people together because we think they are stronger than us and they take the position, I lose, I am no more important, or I don't know what I think. But actually we need partners and we need to work together, and this is what Jesus, our Father, Son, Holy Spirit, is Trinity. I mean, it's the origin of everything forming together. So, and this we will work on the whole week. Here is also from Simon Sinek, and he say about partners. We see those who share our vision and partners in the cause, and we work to build trusting relationship with them, so that we may advance the common good together. Also, the meaning is not advertising. Like, I mean, I don't want to say Coca-Cola is necessarily wrong or so, but you can try to manipulate people that they buy it. But this is not partnership. Well, if you have to convince people that they help you, it's not a partner. Or so he said, we should look for the people who already believe the same thing as we do. That's partnership. And we then build up the trust and the relationship with them, that we can share the common good with them. And not try to convince people. everybody believes what he believes. It's that you can take this sentence. Everybody is believing what he is believing. He can say something different, but you cannot change that. You cannot change. It's not like a machine, and then you can put the button and then it works differently. No, our deepest belief is what this is ours, and we not change it because of outside pressure. We change it because probably we gain something out of it, or we do something because we want to gain. But when the pressure is away, then we do what we want to do. So what we believe we cannot change. So, and therefore we should not try to manipulate people to believe the same thing as us. The partnership means to find people who already believe the same thing as you. And this also Apple working with that. To create a belief system in people and try to find people. So we will talk about this customer value proposition. That means that you find out what the people really believe. Before you sell something, you have to find out what people really believe, because they will buy from you what you really believe. What they really believe, they will buy it freely from you. Otherwise, they always bargain with you about the costs, and they are not satisfied with it, and so let's say Apple don't want to have the people who don't want to pay for the Apple. They don't care about it. We just look for the people who want to pay the price. And Microsoft is different. They bargaining about the price, and the price is lower. And so I don't want to say it's good or bad. In the end, Apple also wants to make a lot of money, and therefore the price is very high. I don't know if it's justified, but the principle, I hope you understand the principle behind it. So they just want the customers who want to pay because they believe in the Apple product, and not they don't want to bark up the price. So I think that's hopefully it helps you to find out your point. In this week we will do more about that. We will now have the Canvas business model, and you have time, and then we will have a final project, and you can write down your final project and put it in praxis. And so, and this is so how like the middle point of the school, where we change from theoretical now to the practical stuff. Yeah. Yes, some questions. Okay, I want to, I think I give you, let's see. I want to talk about another book with you together. And let's see if I find it. Now here, let's see how far we get. Yeah. I mean, there are, John Maxwell say there are 3 types of people in life, and not all will achieve the goal. Because there is so, and the question to you is now, who, in which category do you fit? And so the first category would be those who do not what they should do. Do you fit in this category? Or those who do what they have to do? Or the third category, those who do a little bit more. And this is the question to you. Talking about vision and so can be very theoretical. But when you're not on the place doing something more than you have to do, it will never, there will be no change in your life. Then you not come to the point to say, I do a bit more than that people ask for me. It can be in a school when you only do the minimum of the requirement of the assignments. Okay, you can pass the school, but you're not really growing in the school. So the people who are really growing are the ones who do a little bit more. And so that's one of my slogans that I want to always do a little bit more. Let's say when somebody say it costs 10 francs, it costs 8 francs, then give you 10. Yeah, it's a little thing, but be generous, give a bit more than just what you ask us. Or I say it's 8 francs 20, or then to say 8.20, and then he say, oh, I have money to give you back, and you say, you can, please print it to me, or give it to me. But who cares about that? 1.80. You can be generous, and when you do that, and the other person will say, wow, I mean, it's great. And next time when she have to pay 8.20, then probably she gives 10. And so you can create a difference with making always a bit more as you have to do. It can also be in our break time. It can be in helping in setting the tables. And so it's really, when you start to live this out, doing always a bit more. And because just have a vision, it will not help you. You have to do the little steps of growing that you really receive that. So here is the mathematics. Do you like math? Also, I mean, that's 1 pi 365.
To the power of.
Yeah, to the power of 365. What does it mean?
Multiplied upon itself again.
Yeah,
again,
that's
again.
a 1, 360 times 1, each one. So the result will be
The same.
1. So when you do now 1 and 0.01 and high or power of 350, it's 37.
Yeah.
So now that's leadership mathematics. That means do always a little bit more, and you will grow. At the end of the year, you stand really on a different point. So you will not can reach the 37, but you can do a little bit more, and in the end, it will give that. So this will be 1%. Well, 1% of your day is how much of your time that you have a day, as when you take sleeping away and so how much is 1% of, let's say 14 hours or 12 or 16 hours when we take the sleep away, or I mean the things that let's say 14 hours. So 1% is how much?
0.1 is 15 minutes or 14 minutes.
Yeah.
14 minutes.
Is it?
1.4.
Yeah, sorry.
Come on.
Because hours go to
People
60 minutes there.
1.4.
Let's do 14 times 6. And then 14 times 6 times 0.1.
No, it's, my calculation said 8.4 minutes. That is not so. So my advice now to you: think every day 8.4 minutes. Now you can actually halve it, and when you just point only half of a percent, also let's say 4 minutes, then you still grow a lot at the end of the day. Because 4 minutes every day, think not on yourself and think on about somebody else, and think how you can do an extra, helping somebody serve some 4 minutes. and your life will change. But when we not do these steps, and then we not really can talk about the vision. So we really have to walk and do step by step.
Bless you.
Bless you. So victory must first be won inside and not outside. So that's a wise word, and we want to have performance. We want to have big things. When somebody's we have a big church and so on, amazing, but victories are won inside and not outside. And when we understand that and do our process, nobody's seeing it or nobody's recognizing it, but you are growing and you become stronger, and then you will be able to really bring change into the world. So I'm still, this book, I want to talk about this book. Probably you know, is one of my famous books by Stephen Covey. Do you know Stephen Covey? Yeah. And that's the seven habits of a leader, or 7 habits of an effective leadership, something like that. So, but he talk about, first, we are dependent. So when we are born, we are fully dependent on the mother, father, and so on. But the goal of life is to become independent, he say. But this is just the first step. So the first step is independency. So the first thing is be proactive. So I have to teach my son become proactive. When he's only doing what he has to do, then this is not really proactive. He learned to do things by himself and take responsibility about himself without I telling him to do it. And he have to learn to do it a bit more. I mean, that's the first step. So the second step, he say, is then beginning with the end in mind. You see, now start to have vision. What do you want really to do? When you are equipped, you are trustworthy, you do what you have to do, and you do it always a little bit more. So now you have to start what you really want to do. What is the purpose of life? What is what is my vision and so on. And so it's now my son start the apprenticeship, and then we struggled really. What he wants to do. And then once he said, I want to become a mechanic, so I want to study that. And then it was clear. But he had to find it by himself somehow, once to come to the point to say, now I want to do that. Probably I will not always be in this job, I don't know, but now I go a step and I do it, and so it's really great when you see in your children that they do these steps. So the third step is then put first thing first. I mean, when you can do that, you have a vision, you have to you run for it, you are committed. It's the problem is that you only have one life and you have no time for doing everything. And a lot of managers, they have a burnout because they not put first what is first. So because then it's growing and you have a lot to do, and you need to make priorities. Say what is really important, what I don't want to do, and you have to cut. And this hurt you. You have to cut it. And you probably like to do it, but you cannot do everything. So you have to do what is really important to do. So he said, when you have these 3 things, then this is the private victory, and then you are independent. You're fully independent. You are able to marry. You're able to have a family. You are able to run a business, to be a leader of the base. So because you can manage, you know the priorities, we can trust you and so on. Then the fourth is you have to learn to think win-win. So it's not about myself. So I give a product and he will enjoy the product, but also I make some money with it. So it's a win-win situation. So then the next, we have to learn not just running for our project, I want to win. We have to learn this win-win. The next step is think first to understand, then to be understood. And this is then the next step. So now you have to learn, it's not about you. So first I learned to listen. I learned to serve. It's about the others. It's like what Jesus said, or we should be concerned about the others first and not about ourselves. And this is then a higher step to go to really understand it's not about myself. But this means also, it's my son, I cannot tell it to my son. He will probably not understand it. It's also the age that we will grow, that we will become a leader and understood, no, I don't have to run to win, and it's not even win-win. So it's really, I want to be a servant and help people that they can grow. And the last one is then the hardest thing to do, this synergy. It means I'm able to work with people together that I would not work with because they are so different. And I think I cannot learn something from them. Or let's say with the pastor, let's say he has absolutely different view, but are I able to work with them? That's that synergy. And so we work to get, or even people are so different, even people are so in their personality so different and so hard to work together. So work then in teams together as and learn from the people that you think you cannot learn from. That means synergy. So he said, when you reach that, then you become this interdependency. That means you are able to work in a team, but you're dependent. You are independent, or it's not, you don't need the team to be independent, or you are self, but you working in a team because we need one another. So this is called this interdependency. Probably heard that word before in English. We don't learn that word in school. But this interdependency, that you are able to work together. You don't have to, that you because you are not able to work alone, but you work because you know the output is bigger than just what I can do by my own. So, and in the end, we say the seventh step is then we are always in a learning process. So we are not on the top. We have to learn again. And then probably you are in the business already there, and at home you are not. And we all have to learn. So that's then the seventh step. But I think it's really wise that we start to think we need a learning process to come into our vision. And it's not just we have a vision and then it's clear. Good. So thank you very much. I hope it helps you. So the house wants to know from you, how is the work duty? There is a feedback. You can write everything what you don't want to say to me.